I just finished my game, and this game was crazy. I was playing a really strong player at 2250 from India, and he was an FIDE master, so he was, a strong chess master. He was really good, and I'm very excited to show you this game. So let me sit down by my little table. I love this table, by the way. I've been sitting here every day. I love this little wooden table that I have in my room. I can't believe that I have like the perfect wooden table in my hotel room, but yeah. Okay, so I started with d4. I had the white pieces, and he went d5. Now I played c4, and he replied e6. I brought out my knight, and he went for this move a6, which is kind of, it's become like more popular, and I hadn't prepared against this because I didn't think he was going to play it. I didn't know that this is what he plays. So I decided to go c5, which I haven't played this line in like a very long time. So I was really just trying to use old memory. And the idea here is that sometimes black will play e5, and then, this pawn will become a little bit weak, but this is perfectly playable. But he played b6 instead, which I was really happy about because that just allowed me to just trade the pawns and now bring up my bishop. And then I realized here that this bishop would become quite bad. So I was kind of trying to play against this bishop throughout the game. So I got my pawn out. He brought out his knight. I went bishop d3. I was constantly looking at the move knight e4, but he didn't do it yet. He went bishop d6, and I actually decided to just go knight e2 with the idea that if he takes here, I can take back with the pawn, and then it's never going to be possible for him to go e5. And this is the move that he wants to do. He wants to do the e5 break. That's the move he really wants to do. So in this game, I had told myself that I was going to play faster, and I'm really proud because this is probably the best time management game that I've had so far, which I'm really, really, really happy about. So he castled and I castled, and then he went b5. And the idea of this is just that he wants to be able to play b4 sometimes, and he wants to be able to bring out his queen. The pawn is just simply better on b5. So I played rook c1 just to activate my rook. He played queen e7. I went bishop b1. The idea of this was just that I simply wanted to be able to, in some lines, protect this pawn. And the idea was that if he would go e5 now, I wanted to go takes, 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 queen takes, and then I wanted to be able to go maybe queen d4 or a knight d4, one of these two moves. But I wanted to at least have my queen protecting the square. So he went here, knight d7, and I actually played the move knight g3. The idea of this being that after e5, I would have this move knight f5, threatening both the queen and the bishop. However, he took my bishop on f4, which I was happy about because I finally got the pawn structure that I wanted. And then he went g6 to stop my knight from ever coming here if he would play e5. And now, well, I started by going rook e1, just so that, just because I'm threatening right now f5. And after the queen move, I went for a really crazy move. I was very confident. I was feeling brave. I was feeling like, Anna, we got this. And I really wanted to try to beat this guy. So I played a very aggressive move. Okay, not yet. First I went queen d2. Now I played the very aggressive move h4. Sorry, my pawn was hanging, so I had to defend it. But now I went for h4, which is actually the best move. And I really wanted to play this move because my whole body was screaming at me that this was the best move and that this was really good because I have a lot of threats of going maybe f5 or h5 and just try to open up the king of my opponent. And I have my bishop looking towards the king, I have this queen, I have this knight, I have so many pieces looking towards this king. And so I just wanted to bring all the action to the party. Yeah, so he went knight b6, the idea being going knight c4, and I spent here a little bit of time because I wanted to analyze if I should go now b3 or if I should go f5. I thought both of these moves were very playable, but I didn't like b3 ultimately because I thought that after b4, the knight moves and then he goes something like rook c8. I realized that now it's going to be harder for me to play the move f5, which is the move that I ultimately wanted to do, because my rooks are kind of hanging and he's been able to activate his pieces. So my queen is not as free anymore. So I thought at the end that if I want to play f5, I have to do it now. So why did I want to play f5? Well, I wanted to play f5 because I wanted to bring in my queen to the king side. By going f5, I'm opening up some squares for my queen so that after something like knight c4, my queen can come in, and I'm also going to try to trade some pawns in front of his king to make his king weaker. So he took my pawn, and here I can actually either go bishop takes f5 right now, or I can go queen g5. I ended up going queen g5. The reason I can go for this move and sacrifice my bishop is because after takes and takes, I'm threatening the queen, and I'm also threatening to go checkmate. So yeah, this is really good for me. But I went queen g5, and now he went king h8, which was the move I thought he was going to do, and now I captured on f5, which is a brilliant move.
He didn't play bishop c8. Well, he played king h8. But now Anna can play, now she can play bishop take f5. She's absolutely fine after bishop take f5. This is a good move. This is absolutely a good move. His last move was queen h8, king h8. But she can go bishop take f5. And I think she's going to play this. And this is about an equal position. She's absolutely fine. She played bishop take f5. And now she is back.
So this was beautiful, I think. I'm really happy with this move. And now if he takes, the idea is that once again I have knight takes f5, and he cannot go queen f8 because then I just take on f6. So I'm really happy with this move, bishop takes f5. So instead what he did was that he played b4, just threatening my knight. And actually here my best move is to go knight c e2 to bring my knight around, but I went knight b1 because I thought that this would be a better path for my knight. And so yeah, so I went here. But my knight became a little bit off the game. So he ended up playing knight e4, which was the move that I was expecting, just threatening my queen, and now I have to get rid of my bishop because my bishop is hanging. If the knight is not here, I cannot keep my bishop here. He took back, and I went, actually here at first, my initial thought was just, okay, I'll just play queen c5, and that's it, you know? But then I realized, because I thought if he takes and takes, I will be just better in the endgame. But I realized that after queen c5, he has this move rook d8, which simply defends the queen, and now actually I cannot move out my knight because he will just take on c5, and I cannot, well, I don't really want to take here because after takes and taking here, I just have a million pawns that are hanging. So I realized that this was not good for me, and so I spent a little bit of time, and ultimately I find this move knight d2, which is the best move in the position, which I'm really proud about. Now, what is the idea of this? Well, the idea of this is that after he takes my pawn, I have this move, knight takes e4. And this move, the reason I'm really happy with this move is because if he decides to trade everything, if he goes knight takes, rook takes, takes, and he just trades everything, I have this move, queen f6 check, and after king g8, I can take this knight on b6, and this is now what I thought would be quite an equal endgame, although actually black is slightly better, which I didn't know during the game, because I thought after queen takes h4, I have maybe queen b7, this was my idea. But he didn't want to enter this because he thought this was too much of a draw on endgame, and he didn't want to draw me. So I actually asked him after the game, I was like, why didn't you just trade everything on e4? And he was like, because it's a simple draw endgame. And so that, you know, made me realize that this guy didn't want to draw me because I was lower rated. This guy really wanted to beat me. I mean, I was 200 points lower rated than him. He probably thought that this would be an easy match. So he took here once, but then actually after this, he went for this move, rook e6. And now, the idea of this is just simply that he's defending the knight. He's also kind of stopping me from going knight f6 or queen f6. Now I play the move knight c5, threatening the rook. He traded and he took, and he went king g8, which I actually thought was a slightly weird move because it put his king in a position where I could maybe bring up my knight to f6.
This is not such a good move because now Anna have knight to e4. She can bring the knight closer to his opponent's side. So knight to e4. We remember a very good tandem when we are attacking is the queen and the knight. So I would allow Anna to come back to go knight to e4, and this is not possible because we have knight f6 check here, and after this we would actually play this move first, check, and give it check here. We would just win the game.
So here I went h6, and he went for the move queen takes b2, which is a big mistake, and now I'm actually completely winning after the move knight e4, which I did. Now he played queen d4, and in this position I had 9 minutes on the clock and I was trying to find a win. So I started by going knight f6 check, king g7, and here I was trying to find a win. I went knight g8 a few times, back and forth, and here I was thinking, do I draw because I knew I had a draw with knight e8, like it was game over, like it's just a draw. Or do I do something else? Now in my brain, I kept thinking that I wanted to maybe have taken this pawn because I wanted to go knight h5 check. And actually if I take this pawn, sorry, I cannot take it now, but in the position here, I was thinking maybe taking this pawn. This is actually now just around equal. It's slightly better for me after something like rook e4, but I kept thinking about doing this move, rook e4, and then moving my rook around and having my rook being active here. But this didn't work due to queen d1 check, king h2, and then there's actually this check over here, trading queens, which I don't want to trade queens because I'm a pawn down. So actually, the only winning idea that I have here is to go h6 check, king h8, and then in this position, do something like rook e4, which is a move that I actually didn't really consider. I consider the move rook e5 to block the queen. But then after this move, actually, if he goes something like rook f8, I mean, I am much better, but it's not completely, instantly, you know, a checkmate in 10 or something. But I am better, and in most games, I would continue this. But I think I really just wanted to get this draw because I think it came from the fact that I've had 2 bad tournaments. Or I had the tournament in Reykjavik that was bad, and this tournament I hadn't been able to like draw or beat someone higher rated. So I think that for myself, I really needed to get this draw against the higher rated, because if I would have lost this game, I would have been so devastated. And so I thought, I don't see an immediate win. I have 3 minutes on the clock. Let me go ahead and just get the draw and then move on, you know, and then push forward. I was really happy with this game when I had played it, and yeah, if this was probably a lower rated player, I would have played h6 and I would have just kept the game going. Or even if I was having a really good tournament so far, you know, then I would probably have kept going too. But my low time, plus the fact that I really wanted to draw this game and not lose, just made me in this position actually take a draw. And well, yeah, no, the game actually stopped here. After we went back and forth for a few times with the checks, I just said draw. And then we had repeated 3 times, but he took like 30 seconds to think about it. And I was like, what are you thinking about? Like, it's just a draw. But he still took his time to think about it. And then after the game, we actually discussed the game. And it's really funny because on chess.com, there's moves over here, but these moves never happened because of the fact that these are just moves that we played to discuss the game. So the game actually ended after knight f6 check. But on chess.com, it says that the game went on for 5 more moves, but it didn't. It's just us analyzing after the game. So my accuracy actually this game was around 93%, which I'm so happy about. Like, I'm really happy about this game. I think that this is probably the best classical game that I've played this whole year in 2024. So I'm extremely happy about that, and I feel like my confidence went up a lot after this game. Today I'm playing round number 6. I'm playing at 2280 from China, and I feel confident, I feel good, and I'm just gonna give it my best. I feel like if I just don't get into time trouble, and if I just think properly, I can play good chess. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do today. And I'm so motivated to make the rest of this tournament, you know, as good as it possibly can be. So I'm really excited. I'm feeling really motivated. I feel like I'm just enjoying chess more than ever. In fact, I enjoy chess so much that yesterday after I played this game, I actually played a blitz tournament during the evening. Like yesterday, I played like 12 hours of chess. I played the morning round, which was like 4 hours. I played this round, which was also like 4 hours. And then I played 4 hours of blitz. Actually, that adds up to 12 hours. I played 12 hours of chess yesterday. Today, I literally slept like 10 hours. I woke up at 2 p.m. and I'm about to have lunch, but it's not lunch, it's breakfast, but it's not breakfast, it's lunch. So that has been my day. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. Really appreciate your support throughout this tournament and wish me good luck for round 6. I'll see you all in my next recap. Bye-bye.